When I think about family violence, like the term family violence makes me think about like the whole family just in turmoil, like everybody, is fighting everybody. But I think that when I step back and really think about what family violence is, I will primarily think of the the mother and the father, or the male figure and the female figure, and like how they interact with one another, um, potentially in a violent way. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like family violence is like the soft term for domestic violence. And I think that honestly, family violence is a term that's used to kind of lessen the way how harsh domestic violence sounds. And I think it kind of puts it into a context of like, it's not, I mean, even though we typically think of like the mother and the father, I think it also puts it into the context like family violence doesn't just have to happen between the mother and the father. It can happen between extended family and things like that. So, yeah. I think that what makes domestic violence different from other kinds of violence is the fact that there's some kind of love there. There's some kind of bond or some kind of relationship. So it's like, yeah, there's a fear of going to jail, but then depending on the kind of relationship that you have with that person, it can definitely deter them from telling on you. So I think that that's really what kind of makes people not fear going to jail or punishment or anything like that for domestic violence, because it's like, that's my family, that's my wife, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my auntie, that's my uncle, that's my niece, that's my nephew. They're not going to tell on me, and if they do, nobody's going to believe them, or I can talk them out of it, or it's not that serious, it's just what families do, it's just what happens. I don't think that it's taken in some cases as seriously as it should be. So growing up, I knew of the domestic violence that occurred in my family. I can't really remember exactly what year it was that I found out about it, that I learned about it. But once I did, I won't. I don't want to say I was fearful that it would happen to me, but I was always very conscious of it and always very aware. And when I had a boyfriend, or somebody I was dealing with, I would tell them, this happened in my family. We wouldn't give specifics, but I would say this happened. And this is not what we're not gonna do that. It ain't no putting your hands on me. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be able to put your hands on me. You're not gonna be able to touch me in a way I don't want to be touched. You're not gonna be able to hem me up or choke me up. None of that. Because I was always taught that like the first sign, as soon as something seemed off, it's a problem, and get away from it as fast as you can. And for me, I actually had a situation where it wasn't like, you know, like hitting and punching and all of that, but it was definitely some kind of restraint in a situation, and I felt uncomfortable, and I felt like when I tried, I didn't have will to move how I wanted. I wasn't in control of my body because I was being restrained, and so I didn't like that. For me, like that was the first sign. I'm like, okay, bye. I don't need to talk to you. We don't need to deal with each other because I already explained to you that that's something that would make me uncomfortable, and you proceeded to do it anyway, despite the fact that I made you aware of that situation. So, yeah, once it's like the slightest bit of something that indicates domestic violence in any way, it's like I'm cutting it off. I think domestic violence is kept private because people don't want others to know that something's going on in their family. They don't want other people to know there's something wrong in their family. I think it has to do a lot with pride, more than anything. It does, especially if you had this perfect family image, perfect, that everybody wants, everybody might seemingly want. You don't want to ruin that image or that perception people have of you. So you're going to keep it to yourself. You're going to hide the bruises. You don't want anybody involved in your business. You don't want anybody making it worse, or want anybody judging you or judging your family, judging the situation, because of something that because they know that it's happening. And so I think it's, shame, guilt, You know, it could be really anything. You know, just you don't want people to know that something's wrong for whatever reason, and so I think that that's why oftentimes it's kept private, because it's, you know, people think of it as a private family matter. People that are in domestic violence situations need to, I mean, I guess there's no uniform answer, but I would say the first step would be to tell somebody that they know, tell somebody that they can trust, maybe someone who's a close family friend or something.